This video was brought to you by the second trailer of Avengers Endgame. Check it out now on Marvel's official YouTube channel. On March 1st, I did a video where I discussed 5 horror movies that ended up being cancelled. Aside from some flub-ups and the video going out of sync due to the length of the video, I felt like I did a pretty good job with it overall. And because some of the members of the RE98 army wanted me to do a sequel video where I discussed 5 cancelled video game movies, that's exactly what I'm going to do today. In this video, I'll be covering 5 cancelled video game movies. Just want to get 2 things said before we get started. 1, I will not be talking about the Warner Brothers version of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, nor George A. Romero's version of the Resident Evil movie, because I already covered those in my 5 cancelled horror movies video. And 2, I won't be covering the 2019 Minecraft film, nor the 2017 Uncharted film originally starring Mark Wahlberg, because those films aren't technically cancelled. They just had to be pushed back in order to make certain changes. Without further ado, let us begin. Starting off at number 1 is the cancelled MGM Sonic movie, Sonic the Hedgehog: Wonders of the World. Before the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that we are getting later this year by Paramount was even planned, MGM was originally supposed to make a Sonic movie back in 1994, titled Sonic the Hedgehog: Wonders of the World. Now, unlike the next 4 entries on the list, the entire plot for this film was 100% confirmed. You can read the plot of this film on the Sonic News Network wiki and the Cancelled Movies wiki websites, so I won't be telling you all the entire plot word for word, and instead give you a smaller version that sums up the plot in a nutshell. Basically, the film is about a kid named Josh who is going through a hard life after his parents divorced, and his school life isn't helping with that. He uses this obviously fictional AI unit created by an unemployed computer scientist named Hal in order to play Sonic Extreme, a cancelled Sonic game on the Sega Saturn because his Saturn is broken. This causes Sonic to break free from the game and accidentally cause havoc across the real world. To make matters worse, Dr. Eggman, Sonic's arch-nemesis, breaks free along with his minions, and they team up with Hal to build an amusement park to rule the world. Josh and Sonic team up and defeat Eggman, and then they beat him again in Sonic Extreme, where afterwards, Josh escapes back to the real world, and the movie ends with Sonic winking back at Josh in the game as the latter returns to playing Sonic Extreme. And that's only a small portion of the plot. Again, if you want to read the entire plot word for word, check out the Sonic News Network wiki and the Cancelled Movies wiki's articles on it. The links will be in the description below. Judging by the plot, this film was going to be a Roger Rabbit mixed in with an earlier version of the Fat Albert film, but in more of a live action meets 3D animation style. So, why was this movie canceled? Well, MGM decided to bail for no real reason, and the producers couldn't get DreamWorks to purchase the rights for the film. So it was canceled before production could even begin, which is why there's no casting information about this movie, as well as why there are no images for the film. Some say it was because Sega and Trilogy didn't see eye to eye in terms of creativity, while Richard Jeffries, the writer of the film, blamed it all on Hollywood politics. So, would this have been good? Maybe. With the right material, I definitely think that this movie would have worked. Plus, I would have rather saw a Sonic movie like this than the unnecessary slob fest we are getting this November. Meh. I'll just go see it because of Jim Carrey as Eggman. That's just me, though. Moving in at number 2 is the most well-known canceled video game movie on the list, Neil Blomkamp's Halo the Movie. Now, I'm gonna skip to where I talk about if this would have been good, because this movie has been talked about to death, so there is nothing really new that I can say here. And if I'm being honest here, yes. Yes, I do think that this would have been good. I do think it would have been at least somewhat good, as Neil Blomkamp, aside from Chappie, has never disappointed, at least for me. So in my opinion, it would have been one of the few good video game adaptations. But I just wish that Universal and 20th Century Fox would have gotten along. Then again, those two companies are idiots anyways. Continuing with the space theme at number 3 is the Metroid movie. Yet another canceled movie based on a video game franchise that takes place in space. God, that was cringy. John Woo, the director of Face Off, that one weird action movie starring John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, was set to produce a movie based off Nintendo's first female-led franchise, Metroid, back in 2004 after acquiring the rights to make a Metroid film. The film was hoping for a 2006 release, along with the plot being similar to the original game. Unfortunately, the film was cancelled after Nintendo developed PTSD because of the live-action Super Mario Bros. Movie, and became extremely strict and cautious about their properties being made into movies. And can you blame them? The Super Mario Bros. Movie was beyond horrendous, so of course they have the right to act this way. But like the FNAF movie, the project is not dead, as talks about reviving the Metroid movie back in 2017 when Yoshio Sakamoto stated that he would like to see a live-action film or an animated TV series for Metroid. while MMA fighter slash actress Ronda Rousey expressed interest in playing the Galactic Bounty Hunter. All signs seem to be pointing to Captain Marvel star Brie Larson possibly playing Samus Aran. How you may ask? One of the reasons was that she dressed as the Zero Suit version of Samus for a Halloween party last year. To make it more positively obvious, someone named Simon Hernandez Arthur asked Larson on Twitter if it was as close as we're going to get for a Metroid film. Larson stated otherwise. And even bigger WTF news, Jordan Yogut Roberts, the director of Kong Skull Island, expressed his desire to make a Metroid movie during an interview with IGN. He also stated on his Twitter that the helmets the soldiers used in Skull Island were based on not only just Samus' helmet from Metroid, but also Mega Man and Gundam. And if it wasn't so in-your-face obvious, Brie Larson was in Skull Island along with fellow MCU actors Tom Hiddleston, aka Loki, Samuel Jackson, aka Nick Fury, and John C. Reilly, aka Roman Day from the Nova Corps. So yeah, this all pretty much confirms that Larson is going to be playing Samus in the Metroid movie. But we'll just have to wait and see how her MCU schedule plays out. Oh well, at least Rousey got to play Sonya Blade in the upcoming Mortal Kombat 11 game, which is coming to the Switch, coincidentally. Now, would this have been good? Like the Halo movie, I think it would have been one of the few video game adaptation movies that were good, as long as it had the right material to work with. Drilling into the number 4 spot is the BioShock movie. Again, I'm skipping to my would this have been good part, because once again, this movie has been talked about so many times that there is nothing new that I can say that hasn't been said already. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of BioShock, so I couldn't really tell if this movie would have stayed true to the source material. But it would have been an interesting movie to see because even though I'm not a huge fan of BioShock, I still loved the original and Infinite. I would have rather seen this than that shitty A Cure for Wellness movie we got instead. And ending this off at number 5 is the Castlevania movie. After the questionable success of the shitty Resident Evil movies, starring the only good part of the films, his wife Mila Jovovich, Paul W.S. Anderson was hired to direct a movie adaptation of one of Konami's most popular series, aside from the Metal Gear franchise, Castlevania. However, Anderson dropped out in order to produce the film, and James Wan, the director of the Conjuring universe and Aquaman, was brought in to replace him. Unfortunately, due to various delays and problems with the script, the movie kept being put in development hell before finally being cancelled. Now, would this have been good? I'm going to have to say no on this one. James Wan is a hit-and-miss director, in my opinion, and the script felt like the movie wasn't going to properly follow the source material. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Let me know in the comments below what type of canceled movie genre that you want to see next. This is Elastic98, signing off. Have a nice day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!